Saving energy is a moral responsibility which a new EU regulation might force certain food and drink manufacturers to take more seriously, according to MD of JRP Solutions, Jez Rutter. I'm Lawrence Gibbons for Food Manufacture in Gloucestershire to meet Jez to find out more.
Organisations need to embrace some form of environmental imperative in addition to the good business sense that ethos brings. So if you really combine those two things, I think there is a moral responsibility on organisations wider than just saving money or good business sense. It does go further than that. We do have to care for the planet, even if individuals themselves think, well, what difference can I make? Actually, you can make a difference if everyone did their little bit to make the difference. So that, I would say, is the main reason for that.
You hear all the time of people saying, what's the point of turning that light off? What difference can I make? Is there a danger that big food businesses also suffer from this same mentality?
There definitely is. I mean, all of us do that from time to time, you know. I suppose it's becoming a bit more habitual about these things. Perhaps not a nice comparison, but I think relevant, is regarding health and safety. You know, 15, 20, 30 years ago, it wasn't such a second nature thing in organisations as it is today. We need that with respect to energy as well, not just at workplace, but obviously at home as well. A lot of it's very simple.
Why do you think they're not living up to this responsibility?
I do understand the other pressures that all businesses have. Energy isn't an obvious must-do area as far as they're concerned. So often it takes an individual within the company to actually have the desire to actually take it forward. And when we've worked with organisations that have done this, then they then think, this makes ideal business sense, you know, because you're talking about paybacks of less than 2 years. And if you could get that in the business environment in manufacturing, you'd snap it up. But energy's got this, it isn't something that definitely has to be dealt with by the organisation. So it's good that it's become a legislational requirement for certain businesses, because it will make them ask the question. And even though they don't necessarily at this stage have to implement the recommendations, I would be hopeful that once they have those recommendations and see the clarity of what they could achieve, that actually they will then realise it does make good business sense.
What evidence, Jez, is there that they're not living up to this moral responsibility?
Our evidence is from visiting different organisations, from those that are very active in implementing, through to people that don't even have any list of improvement ideas, or anyone responsible for energy, or anyone having energy meetings on a regular basis to review and take forward improvements, whether they're practical projects or whether they're sort of more behavioural type, training related for employees type projects.
And do you think this could become more of an issue in the future?
It's possible that the legislation will be tightened at every 4-year cycle, but clearly I'm not in a position to say whether that will happen. I do believe actually it would be a good idea that at the next 4-year cycle people have to begin to show a level of implementation for their own benefit. They won't be doing it because it's making the situation worse. It will be making the situation better by implementing these projects. And also, it's so often energy actually has an impact on other resources. And when I mean other resources, I'm talking about, you know, issues about labour efficiency, productivity, materials, packaging. All of these waste, all these areas are related, and actually energy issues can point to improvements in other areas, which in themselves can be very valuable.
Thank you, Jez. That's Jez Rutter with me, Lawrence Gibbons, for Food Manufacture.